from the portal. There are two options here, student and teacher. You want to be on the teacher side if you are a teacher, and you want your students to be on the student side. So it will default to the right one if you sign in through the portal. So students will sign in through the student portal, and you can see here that this is sort of glowing. We're going to sign in with Google. We are going to click on our name. And then it does bring me to my library, but for you, it may bring you here. So you want to go out to where it says My Library. So again, if you are my book creator, non-newbies, my expert book creators, if you did want to click around with me today, you can scroll down here to where it says Join Library. And I'm going to give you a code for today. Here is the code. I will put it in the chat just because, just to make it a little bit faster. Highlight that. So this is where, once you get into My Library, the thing I want you to do is I want you to click on the stack of books, and I want you to copy my book, but put it in your own library. So I suggest this one up here. This is like a practice area. It's called My Books. And even if you've never used Book Creator before, this is your default library that's already created. So go ahead and put it in there. So again, the stack of books and then copy. So I'm going to click onto my book. You can see my cover. And so I am one of the Learning Technologies consultants, and that is my Twitter handle down there. We've already done the poll, so I'm going to skip through that. So we are going to do a basic overview, so how to get in, sort of what we've just done. We're going to talk about making templates. We're going to talk about adding them to student work. I'm going to probably won't have 10 full minutes to try it because we're running out of time. And then applying it, we can discuss about how you would apply the same sort of practices to Google Docs specifically, and Screencastify if there's time. So this is where you would find Book Creator, again on the staff portal, but you can see it there on the 7 to 12 portal for your students. So all students in the OCSB 12, kindergarten all the way to grade 12 have access to the premium features of Book Creator. And I was saying at the beginning, this is I would say my favorite tech tool out of all the ones that OCSB offers, because it is the most accessible for everyone. It has lots and lots of features, including a translator and dictation for 120 languages, closed captions, audio features, video features. And I can't get into all of them today, but down here in this book, there is a link to an hour-long webinar just about the accessibility features. So I'm going to flip through to our next one. So this is what I'm going to demonstrate today. And if you're following along, you can do this as well. I'm going to discuss about how you could give feedback in different ways to students that is fast. So you may have used this with Google Documents if you can add a Screencastify link for a video, which is a wonderful thing, but I would say this is even faster. So we like fast feedback, and we also like templates, things we can use over and over. So I would implore you to think about a commonly used phrase or something. Let's say you're doing paragraph writing where you're saying the same thing over and over again. However, it's important for your students, especially with those learning with an IEP, to get the format of feedback that would help them best learn. So for some of those students, it is video. So how to add a video, I'm going to click on plus. Whenever we want to add something, we click on plus. Then I'm going to click on media, and then I'm going to click on camera. So it brings us to our camera right here. We can click on, we're not going to take a picture, we're going to record a video. It gives us a countdown. So Sally, I noticed you use one shape. Actually, can you think of one other shape to go with the question? What other shapes can you use? So notice I keep it short. So that is my tip for you about giving video feedback. Your students will turn out, I would even say after 30 seconds. So keep them short and sweet. And then what we can do, we can preview it here. If you think it didn't, you can check sound quality and all that sort of thing, and then click on use video. So what you will see is this is going to be uploaded to the document. It does take a little a minute there. There we go. We can click on it and size it down. And if your student had added some work here, this is their book, you can add a little video message to their book. Every time that you create libraries for your students, you are also an editor automatically. Just like when you share things in HAPRA with documents, you are also an editor on things. So that's one way to easily give video feedback using Book Creator. I do want to talk about the dictation tool, which is really nice in Book Creator. This is more for the student side of things. So if they need to give feedback back to you, it has a really nice dictation tool. So we're going to click on Add and click on Media, and then click on Text this time. So it brings you a text box, and of course you can just type if that's what you would like to do. But I want to see this microphone right here. This is how I add some text. And I can stop it there. If I click on the microphone again, you can notice that I have lots of different options to change. All the different languages. So what you need to know though is you have to change it first, and I kind of did that on purpose. So change the language first, and then it will save it to whatever language that you wanted. So that's nice if you are a French teacher and you're getting your students to type in French. Then if you click on French, it has a beautiful translation, not translation, sorry, dictation tool. So it doesn't translate. So if I spoke in English, it wouldn't translate it to French. If you speak French, it will type it in French. And I'm going to click on that. And then you can, again, if this were a piece of feedback, you can add it to their work right there. Another great thing about Book Creator is the ease to add just specifically an audio note. So some students prefer to hear their feedback. And especially, I would say, yet again, for other language teachers like French or Spanish in high school, it's nice to hear your teacher's voice with the proper pronunciation. So we can add easily an audio feature. Click on Media, and we can click on Record. So here we get a little countdown. This is where you can give your students a little bit of feedback using audio. So again, you can preview it there and then use the recording. And it turns it into this nice little shape for your students to sort of prompt them easier. So you can do these things in Screencastify, but again, this is super fast and you can make it like as big as you want to, and then plop it right on top of their work so that they can listen to it. I'm going to skip this right here because it talks about inserting pictures. So I don't have time to do that for today. So I am going to skip over top of it. Another great thing about using Book Creator is its libraries of emojis. So you can add and make a template that sort of prompts your students to use an emoji or circle an emoji. How do they feel about a work? If they have a question. So I just kind of gave some different emojis right here. So I'll show you how to do that. And if I had more time, I would allow you to design a template that incorporates emojis. So I like to show this one because it's not very intuitive on Book Creator's part where to find the emojis. So how I'm going to find the emojis is I'm going to add, we always add elements, and then click on Media. And then here's the weird part a little bit, is that you have to click on Pen. So here on the pen, you can see at the top here that I do see a little smile face, and that's where I'm going to access my emojis. And maybe I'm going to prompt my students. So again, you get a whole sort of long library of things. It starts with your smiles. You can scroll across here and see the different emojis. And I do want to point this one out too for students, is that to make this more inclusive, you can choose different skin tones as well. So we can choose our own skin tone if that's what we're doing. And then what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to prompt my students, you know, how do you feel about the work today? Is it a smile face right here? Or I'm going to give them one more choice, maybe sad. So I can type the word sad. I already had it there. give a little crying face. Okay, so how do you feel about this work? So now we have our two options here. We're going to click on done. And what we can do is we can use some of those accessibility features. We can either add a video or an audio note telling our students what to do with this. Maybe we just want to have them circle which emoji is better. And we can click on media, and what they would do is they would click on the pen tool. Maybe they want to switch the color, and they can circle the emoji, how they felt about the assignment, and then click on done. So that's one way to use emojis, and I really like their library for this, and it's really easy to use for students. Okay, so this is the reason why I sort of came up with this topic, is because this is a newer feature for Book Creator. And I thought when I saw this new feature that this would be a really great way to sort of create templates of feedback and have like a library that you can use over and over again. So those videos, those audio notes, if you stored these things and made a book about giving feedback and kept it more on the general side, and of course you would want to personalize it as you got into things, but this is a neat thing. So I'm going to show you this now. So let's say, for example, this is something that you made. So I have some prompts here. I have a nice little audio note. I have my Bitmojis. Man, this took me a long time to do this, but I need to give this to 10 different students. So how could you make this easier? So the first thing that you could do is you could start with what we did at the beginning, is you have this already in the student's book and they make a copy of it. So that's a nice way to already have it in there and just tell the students we're not going to use that. It could be that you just need to use this for a couple of your students. And what you would do with this is I'm going to click on pages, and it gives me sort of all my pages here. So you can see I have lots of pages, and this is the one that I want to move to a specific student's book. So they've created a book in their library or your library, and I want to move this page. So what we can do is we can click on these three dots and we can say copy to. So once we're in here, what we can do is we can click, I'll click up on this one, find the book of the student, and it says the student's name underneath. And what we can do is click here, and it'll copy the page to that book. And what it's going to do is it's going to put it as the last page in the student's book. So that's a really kind of neat feature. So what you can do is you can create a book of all kinds of different templates, and then be able to use these over and over again, whether it's video notes, audio notes, something like here where it has 4 check marks or 4 boxes, and then use them over and over again. So I have a blank page here, and that's for people to try this later and to practice on their own. So once you make a copy of my book, you can use that page to try to replicate it. I do want to just show you some different options of things that you could do with Book Creator. So you can see here that I have, of course, Bitmoji. We love Bitmoji. And then some instructions right here about what to do. This doesn't have to be writing, although everything can be read to your students. You can also have added maybe a video or an audio note. So the idea is for the students to use these red check marks, and the teacher is going to use the green one. And this is a 1-point rubric where the middle is met the success criteria. And of course, you could individualize your criteria right here. And then either it's needs some work or exceeded expectations. So the students, what they would do is move the check marks. And then you as the teacher would move your own green check marks. Yes, I agree here. I'm going to put that one there. And then I'm going to move this one here. I agree. So we may need to have a little discussion about this point right here, but that's something where you could easily make a 1-point rubric in Book Creator, because I'm going to show you how easy it is to do sort of this nice looking spread right here, almost like a table. So here I have a blank page, and when you create your book, I would say, unless you really need a basic version, when you're choosing your book, choose a comic book because it gives you a bit more options. So that's sort of when you click on create new book, it will give you an option to click on a comic book. And I would say, unless your students need a very simplistic version, to choose comic book. So I'm going to click here, and I see I have comics right here, and I'm going to click on panels. And the one that I used was down here, this 3 one right here. And then to make a little background, I click here, and then you can change the color, make it like a plain color if you want, and then you can add in your elements there. Yes, these things take time, but once you set up, you can use these over and over again for your student work, and then they get a very quality looking feedback tool for them, and then it's interactive for the students as well. So you have them doing something with the feedback, because I'm sure that's one of our pet peeves is that we go through and we spend a lot of time giving feedback. Do our students read the feedback? Do they do something with it? So I like feedback myself to be very action oriented on the students' part. Here's another action item for your students using feedback, is to maybe we add in a yellow shape right here, and then they have to add, create a face on this shape. So what they could do is they could click on media and then on pen. Maybe we want to change the color. Maybe I want rainbow today. So we can decide, yay, we were having fun with this assignment. So it gets a smile face, and then click on done. So you can get a little bit of feedback from your students. And then up here, you can see I've added some instructions here using audio. And that it would be a blank practice page for you. So we did go over this, and there's a video right here explaining how to do it again if you forget, but basically you're using that copy to individual books if you're needing to add in a specific page to the students. I do have some suggestions over here for other things you can use with this new feature about copy to. So create a library of feedback. That's what we're doing right now. You can add a question of the day to a writing or math journal. You can help a student with special needs get started with adding a few elements to their books, and it saves students time when they've already selected a theme for your book. You can use the same backgrounds and titles. And there's that prompt, how would you use this feature about the copy to? So here are my tips. Create a book of templates. So you're going to create a book. So I do notice we have a bit of time, so I'm going to go over how you would just get started with creating a book with some base comments and pictures. You can add templates of pages before students start working on their books, and then add template pages to individual student work. It's nice because you can allow choice in how a student responds back for feedback. Because Book Creator is so accessible, they can reply in video, audio, they can use the dictation tool, they can just use an emoji, they can circle things, all within Book Creator. They don't have to do a whole bunch of things. So we love Jamboard because of the pen tool. We love Screencastify because of the video feature and the audio feature. We love Book Creator, or we love Documents because Read and Write works very well. Well, I would say that Book Creator can do all of these things within one tool. So if you had to choose one tool, I like Book Creator, and you can do this with any age level, and it could be very intricate. So this does not have to be like a baby kind of tool. It just allows everyone in your entire class to participate fully. So I do love, love, love Book Creator.